Okay. Hey there, my YouTube audience. Okay, so this is SheThatExists with SheThatExists, her story channel. And it's so interesting. People are already starting to copy me. Used to it. Used to it. But I wanted to jump on here and share a little, I guess, video vlog of my day today on the Gregorian timeline of October 25th, 2025. All right. So earlier I was live, and then I went live again to test out this new camera, which I love. And then I have this little light, so like make it look like this, or you can make it brighter like this. I don't know. Do I like that? I don't know. Should I go like this? Okay. Anyway, with that being said, I had the privilege and the honor to be able to attend this amazing wedding today, where this like beautiful couple, one is from the United States, one was from, pretty sure, Australia. Okay. And how they met virtually online, and how their souls connected online, and then like magnetized together. And the sound, I was sitting in the back, so I couldn't hear the sound completely the best whenever they were sharing their stories and how they came together in their story. However, like if I had known them better, I would have asked them if I could do an interview with them on, I should have asked them. I should have just said, hey, I want to interview you for like your story and how you came together as true souls. Next time, shoulda, coulda, woulda. With that being said, like the part that I could hear, and I know everybody's gonna copy me, but I don't care because I'm an original. Okay, and everybody copies me because I am the original. So, with that being said, when they were sharing their story and how they met and when they came together, like their vows, when they shared their vows, it was just so heart opening. Just like, whoo, my heart just like expanded. And oh, it was so needed. I've shared before how I spent years healing a broken heart. Years. And if you've never experienced a broken heart, then there are no words for it unless love with all your heart and your soul. And for those of us who love God, the first thing we're called to is to love God with all our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, all of our being. And so that's how we love. So I was sitting in this wedding today and listening to their vows, listening to their story. And it was just so heart opening. And of course, I was crying just because it was so beautiful. And I could just feel my heart just swelling and opening up. And it just felt so good. And I'm so glad that here's the lesson. And here's what I want to share with some wisdom, is to listen to yourself. Okay. God is within. Okay. And when you get quiet and you listen to the still small voice within, okay, that's you as soul. That's like God speaking to you, because like God created us, okay, as living, breathing souls. And I will share a little story. The things we do for our children, the things we do for our children, the things we do for our children. I was working this part-time job, And it was not aligned with where anywhere that God our Creator wanted me. And the energy of the place was so bad. I can't even describe with words how bad the energy was of the environment, the owner, and just everything in between. And my body, y'all got to listen, because your body talks. The body talks, the body talks, the body talks. Okay. And so I was listening to my body, and my body was screaming at me, this is not the place for you. Okay. And my nervous system was shutting down. I felt like my organs were starting to fail me. And then like my mind was just like, it was just wearing down on me mentally. Okay. And I share all this to say that when God is speaking to you from within and yelling and screaming at you, and your body is talking to you, and your bones are talking to you, and your nervous system is talking to you, trust that. And trust that God is provider of your life. Okay. If I would have stayed in that situation, even though my soul was not aligned with it, I've been getting really clear about how I'm like putting myself out there and emitting my energy and my frequency field for alignment, for soul aligned clients. And I'm marketing myself and my services as a soul alignment coach, right? Because when we're not aligned as soul to what our calling is, what our purpose is, and what we're here for, all right, it's a form of sacrificing ourselves. It's a form of human sacrifice. And we're not here to sacrifice ourselves. We're not here to human sacrifice other people. We're here to love God with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, and to love creation, and to honor life as sacred. I'm a soul-centric matriarch, honoring life as sacred. And I say all that to say, because if I didn't listen to my body, and I didn't listen to Creator, God, within, and my internal guidance system, then I would not have been able to experience the gift that I received today at this wedding. That was this heart-opening gift. 7:43. It's a number for me. Okay. That's how long I've been recording, and so amazing. The numbers, yes, there were synchronicities at the wedding today. Total synchronicities at the wedding today. As the couple was saying their vows, and during that beautiful moment, 2 sets of 4 birds like hovered over them in this V, and I was like, whoa, because, okay, it's a couple coming together, right? And if anybody knows like signs and synchronicities and numbers, 4 birds together, like a pair, right? And they were 2 souls coming together. So the 4 birds on each side came together as a V. And then 4 is a number for like stability and foundation, right? And 2 doubled. And so it was just the most synchronistic, perfect sign that these 4 birds on each side came together as a V and were flying over them as they got married. And so that was a sign and a synchronicity. And then after the wedding, which I can't stress enough how heart-opening it was just to listen to their vows, because they spoke to each other soul to soul and spoke from themselves as soul. And it was just so beautiful. I have no words for it. My heart is just like so open right now. And then afterwards, when we were doing like, you know, like the legal part of everything, one of their birth dates happened to have been the same day of birth as my dad. And then also the other individual that I was with, that individual's brother had the same birthday as well. And the numbers lined up with the birds, the 4 birds here and the 4 birds here coming together for the paths to merge. 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, back to 2. Wow. So I don't know, anybody who's into numbers, anybody who's into signs, synchronicities, as a soulologist, I've been studying all things soul since I was 15 years old. So over 33 years now. So all the signs and all the synchronicities were there. And then after I left the wedding, I was just like, I was just so happy. And I was just like, oh, I am in soul alignment. You know, I'm where I'm meant to be. And sometimes we have to stand up for ourselves on a soul level. Okay? We just have to stand. We have to stand our ground. Now, when you, okay. So I'm going to move to a subject matter about power. There's this big thing going on right now about being in your power and, you know, especially women's power and, you know, and men being in their power. Okay. Power is not yelling. Power is not screaming. Power is not like this violent, energetic force. Power is not like, and this is my power, and I'm reclaiming my power, and I'm taking my power back, and like being like scary. That's not power. Okay. So my dharma is gentleness, and I've heard that gentleness is power under control. Okay. So that's one of my strong suits and one of my powerhouses. I'm not going to share the other secrets about keys and golden keys to all of that. That's for that's for more of my high ticket programs and my high ticket clients, not something that I'm just going to give away the house for free, right? But the reason why I say this is because being in soul alignment, okay, we're going to have things come against us, okay? We're going to have things outside of us try to stop us from being in alignment with who we are as soul. It come from your family, it come from your friends, strangers. So as part and parcel of my calling and my purpose, I help people develop themselves on a soul level. I work with people on a soul level, you know, not the superficial stuff, you know, in the world. Nothing superficial. There is nothing superficial about me. So I help develop people on a soul level as a metaphysical practitioner and as a soulologist. And I help you develop yourself and get aligned with who you are as soul, an infinite being in a body created with divine intelligence. And I help you connect to yourself as soul, because we live in a world, right? We live in a world that disconnects people on a soul level. And one of my first ministry articles that got published was connecting to yourself as living, breathing soul. Okay. So how I'm connecting this with power is the way I broke away from that dead end part-time job that was energetically just killing me, because the energy of the owner was so bad, and the soul and the spirit of the owner was just so, I'll just say, unhealthy. Is I was obedient. I was obedient to God within. And I was obedient to myself as a soul in my knowing, with what my bones were telling me, what my heart was telling me, what my nervous system was telling me. And the way that I was able to transition safely out of that horrible, 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 horrible situation that I would not wish for my own enemy to be in or to be stuck at. It was through simply sharing gently, the truth from my own heart, and speaking on what I knew that God was telling me, and where God was guiding me, and where God is directing me. because it's so important to be aligned on a soul level with where Creator wants us. Because when you're aligned on a soul level with where Creator wants you, and where your own hearts and desires meant to be, because the word says that God gives us the desires of our hearts, there's not going to be that energy drain, and it's going to feel good, and your nervous system is going to feel good, and there's not going to be like the clash of the titans energetically. There's not going to be dissonance. There's going to be resonance energetically, because we do live in a vibrational world, a vibrational universe, a vibrational quantum field where everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So you'll know that you're meant to be where you're meant to be, because it's going to feel good. Okay? And your nervous system is going to flow. The energy in your body is going to flow. You're going to grow. It's going to feel good. And so this is the time where I'm marketing and I'm pitching and I'm selling my soul alignment services as a metaphysical practitioner, as a soul aligned coach, as a soulologist, as an ordained minister, as a creative director, as an owner and founder of a brand, as a facilitator, as a heart-centered spiritual guide, as a wisdom teacher. And if you know and you're feeling the resonance and you know it's for you, then it's for you. However, I did have to jump on here and share the wedding and share the vows, because it was so heart-opening. And I didn't realize how much my heart needed it. And to just sit there and be in the presence of two souls coming together that love each other and just cared about each other so deeply, and accepting each other, for their uniqueness or their quirkiness or their silliness, or just all the things. It was just so beautiful to watch. And that's why it's so important to listen to ourselves, because I realize that I have spent the last 10 years especially in the trenches, in the hard places, helping people who had experienced some hard traumas and some things that I wouldn't wish on anybody. I'm talking about stuff that people don't even want to talk about in society, because people would rather turn a blind eye and pretend like certain things don't exist. But that's where I've been, helping people on a soul level who have experienced just horrendous things, horrible traumas, things that nobody should have to experience, and doing my best to be the light of God, because we're called to be the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And our soul goes through different seasons, different cycles, different chapters of our life. And I needed a break. I needed a break from serving in the trenches for God. And that time that I spent in the trenches for God, serving and ministering and teaching, those times were needed. And those times also helped me become the expert that I am today when it comes to generational clearing and ancestral clearing, because people don't realize, like, when you come together soul to soul, and you especially come into marriage covenant in that way, the stuff that's not resolved in your family tree, in your ancestral lineage, those things are going to come out in your marriage. Those things are going to come out in your relationship. Those things are going to come out after you have children. These are the things that the pastor and the man who married my former husband and I, these are the things that he didn't tell us. He didn't share with us, because either he didn't have the wisdom, or I don't know, he didn't even offer us pre-wedding counseling, which is a little strange. But so yeah, I'm also available for pre-wedding counseling as an ordained minister. And I'm so equipped because my life experience has given me all these different experiences to equip me. And I had a friend who Creator sent into my world and into my realm whenever I was fully surrendering for things that Creator is having me do at this point for my ordination to complete my bachelor's degree. And he said, God qualifies and equips the called. And it's true. So if or Creator life is calling you to do something and you're receiving the vision and the calling, don't be afraid. I spent so many years in fear, thinking that things were going to go bad, that things weren't going to work out for me. Oh my gosh, bad things could happen. Especially with me being a woman. But if God is calling you, Creator is going to equip you. And in those periods of the initiation of being called by life, you will have life experiences that equip you. And God will send strangers to support you and be there for you, because that's how it worked for me. I thought, oh, my family will be supportive. They'll be proud of me, that I'm surrendering to my calling, that I'm obeying, God, Creator, and that I'm coming in my purpose, my higher calling, and my path, and this is gonna be so good for my daughter, and da 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 da. And oh, my former husband, he'll get better, or he'll get well, or he'll start finally figuring out what life is about. But it was actually for some time quite the opposite. But during those times of persevering, this is a good Sabbath message. During those times of persevering, that's when you grow a deeper intimacy, not just with God, not with just yourself, not just with Creator, but all of life, because Creator's marvelous universe is an interconnected field of life. And so when you go through challenges, or just meant to go through challenges, when you are going through times of discomfort, okay, and you just want to stay in your comfort zone as a soul, those are your times that you're going to have the most amazing growth. And it's worth it. It's worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it. Even in the darkest nights of the soul, the darkest nights, okay? There's light on the other side of the tunnel, even if you can't see it, okay? Even if you can't see it, the light is there, all right? And that's what a guide is for. That's what a coach is for, okay? And I happen to be a lot more than just a guide. I happen to be a lot more than just a coach. With all of my experience in the performance arts and as a creative director and as a 5-time award-winning international women's anthology author, I bring a lot to the table. And let's just ask Google how many people are alive on the earth right now. What is the population of the earth? Okay. What is the earth's population? Holy, I didn't know. I didn't know it was 8.2 billion people as of 2025. And it's probably more than that. Because, you can't really document and register like everybody, there are probably people living underground that we don't even know about. 8.2 billion people. 8.2 billion. Okay? So, that's a large population to serve. And I don't know how many are true souls. And I don't know how many are true seekers. And I don't know how many are coming into the saving knowledge. of who they are as soul and connecting to consciousness, because more and more people are coming into consciousness every moment, every day. So I'm going to share one more story. I met a woman who's a mother and a former wife, and her children were of age. And she was recovering, I could tell, from a lot of different forms of abuse and control and mind control and manipulation. And she started the conversation, about her power and reclaiming your power and calling your power back. And I was like, oh, I could have some really good conversations with her, because we could, have just metaphysical talk, and I love anything like spiritual metaphysical talk, anything having to do, with soul, anything spiritual, anything metaphysical, anything consciousness, like all of it. And but there wasn't anything there to build off of, because she had so much anger still stored up inside. And it was like this angry empowerment. And it was like, I'm calling all my energy back. I'm calling all my power back. And it was just like, like feminazi. Like, oh, and I was just like, whoa. Like, and I understand, and I have an understanding of how people can be so angry, with reclaiming their power, right? Because there's power struggles, between men and women. There's power struggles in relationships. There's power struggles, just everywhere we go. Power struggle, power struggle, power struggle. But we need to get to a point where we rise above that, to where we're so in tune with ourselves, okay? And we're so in tune with life, and we're so in tune with God within, that all of that power struggle ceases. All of that inner battle ceases. All of that inner war ceases. And then all we know is inner peace, right? One of my main anchor scriptures is Exodus 14:14, to let God fight our battles for us, and we only have to be still. So when people tell you, you got to fight, and there's this like power struggle, I'm claiming my power back. You stole my power. You did it. Even if we give our power away, there's no reason to be angry. There's no reason to fight. Okay, you just claim your power back. You don't gotta. So I say all that to say is that lady really scared me, and I see that there wasn't any respect, and I could see that I was just gonna, no matter what I said, I probably would have triggered her, because she wasn't healed. She wasn't whole. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. And so I say all that to say that you're always going to have an outer battle when you're not at peace within. And a lot of times, people don't know what they're dealing with is intergenerational, and it's ancestral, and it's the things that your family members didn't take care of. It's the things that your grandparents didn't take care of. It's all those secret sins that the family members didn't talk about, the things that the family members shoved under the rug, the things that they didn't talk about, everything that was hush hush. And the worst is things can go back 7 generations. I believe it could go back longer than 7 generations. So a lot of times people are struggling, and people are battling with things that are not even their struggle, that it's not even their battle. But yet the world teaches us, okay, to fight. And the world teaches us is that's my battle to fight, or I got to fight that battle, or that's my personal battle to fight. Well, as long as you're fighting, you're going to still be fighting. Okay? So the goal isn't to fight. Okay? The goal isn't, to fight for your rights. The goal isn't, to fight for your power. Okay? The goal is to be at peace within yourself. The goal is to heal the inner battle within. The goal is energetic peace and calm within. Now, if I ask my monk, he's going to tell me that we have our cross to bear, that we still have our cross to bear. Okay? And I know what my cross is that I've had to bear my whole entire life. And it's out of my control. And I did everything I could to try to fix it. Because I'm a helper healer archetype. So I just wanted to fix everything. And I had to learn that everybody's going to grow and develop at their own stage as a soul. Some aren't going to grow. Okay? There are people here, they're not going to grow. And we can't control people. We can't change people. And I don't like it when people say, all you could do is just pray for them, because prayer is a very powerful thing, okay? Interceding for people in prayer with Yahushua HaMashiach and entering into the courts of heaven is a very powerful gift. So if you have the gift of intercession and you have the gift of prayer, take Yahushua with you into the courts of heaven, because his name, his meaning and the power is in the name, the one who self-exists and delivers. My proto-Sinaitic Hebrew teacher, that his ego got in the way and his false ego got in the way and he wouldn't heal his inner abandoned spirit. He teaches proto-Sinaitic Hebrew, and that's Yahayasha. Okay, so it's finding peace within. And for me, the way that it came is I realized that I couldn't change and help the people that I loved, and I couldn't get them to see me for who I am and the child of God that I am and the daughter of God that I am, because they have their own soul contract together. And even though I incarnated into my family of origin because I love and still love with all my heart the people that I love, everybody has their own inner work to do. I don't like calling it inner work because we spend all of our life working, and the whole point is to find peace within, and it shouldn't be work. It, inner practices, but it's all about finding that inner peace. And more wisdom that I want to share, because I was acknowledged for my wisdom today, and that's whenever I know that I'm in rooms or spaces or environments that I'm meant to be, because my wisdom is valued and it's acknowledged. And I'm not being used. I'm valued, and I'm not being exploited. I'm valued because I know my value at this point. It's taken a while to get there, and that's why I just stayed to myself mostly before this point, just being a little lone wolf. However, the wisdom that I want to share is that we have this cross that we have to bear, and usually it's a family cross that we have to bear. And and sometimes it's things having to do with ourselves. In my case, it's my family cross. And I had to learn that the things that you can change, focus on the things that you can change. Like, I can change my schedule, I can change my routine, I could change how I do things. I can focus on myself. But I can't change other people. So as much as I want, like, friends or family or loved ones or people that I know, like, to grow and to become whole on a soul level and not fractured, or people to purify themselves as soul, who are more of an adulterated soul instead of like a pure soul, like, those people have to change their own patterns. They have to go within and change themselves and do the inner practices within. And I had to learn to put my attention and my focus on the things in my own life. And what I was doing is I was just putting my heart and soul into my loved ones, and this cross that I was bearing that was causing me so much grief, so much suffering, so much heartache for the ones that I love who still hadn't figured out what life is about yet. And hadn't journeyed deep within to have their own spiritual awakening and their own connection to consciousness. And it takes being still, it takes going deep within, knowing God, creator within, connecting to oneself within, and getting still and quiet and listening to the still small voice and calming down the monkey mind and all the scattered thoughts and the attention. And people talk about ADD or ADHD. It's not a thing. You just got to learn how to still your mind, okay? And stop putting so much of your attention in the outer world, outside of yourself, and spend more time going within and getting still and quiet and going within. So that's a lot of wisdom shared. A lot of wisdom shared. So take that wisdom, process it, and go deep. So if you're interested in coaching services or deep immersion experiences, or if you are for real about your personal growth and expansion and you are for real about your personal development, whether that's as an artist or a musician or a performer or a host or a speaker, or, just growing yourself and in your profession and your life, and or growing a business. Okay. One of my natural gifts is growth and expansion. And I was elected for chairwoman of growth and expansion for a private membership association by an international attorney general. And I left that position because the members of the private membership association and the leaders of that association were not ready for growth. They weren't ready for expansion. They hadn't done their inner soul work. And they weren't surrendered to being in God's will or creator's will. And there was a lot of infighting. There was a lot of false ego, and it was not a healthy environment. However, with that being said, if you are a business owner, if you own an organization, I have advisor services available. If you're an individual, I have advisor services available for growth and expansion, because I work with people on a soul level, right? So with that being said, it's Sabbath. I'm going to go get quiet. I'm going to go sit in the stillness and go into my body temple and just be with God, creator, life, and the quantum universe within that creator has gifted us with, and probably read a little bit. And I need you, my audience members, to comment and share and start talking, so I know how better to serve you and how to better provide educational services for you, conscious master courses for you, for your self-investment, for your growth. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't signed up for my beacons.ai/SheThatExists email list, sign up, because you get special offers. I haven't mastered the whole Beacons platform yet, but people who subscribe to my YouTube channel and people who subscribe to my email list, you get special offers that the general public does not get. You get special offers from my retail prices that the general public doesn't get. So with that being said, it's been a marvelous day. Marvelous, beautiful day. If you're interested in buying Moldavite oil from me, email me and just say Moldavite oil, and I can whip you up some Moldavite oil and let you know how to use it, and the benefits of it. So with that being said, tomorrow's Sunday, so I will be back on here giving a live ministry message. And last week, what God had placed in my heart and what God shared with the word. And the title was so powerful. And it was power, the promises of perseverance. Don't lose heart. And I'm so glad that I've persevered. And I'm so glad I didn't lose heart. Because when we leave our heart and we lose heart, that's where the lower entities come in. And that's when the lower entities can come in and possess us and take over our body temple. Because our body is the temple of God. We have to just live in our heart and allow Creator Spirit to guide us. A couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I was really upset. And I'm finishing up here, but I was really upset. And so I was just like, Creator, God, I don't really like my life right now, because like I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't feeling personally fulfilled. And I said, I don't like my life right now. And so I was just like outside and I said, God, I'm giving my life back to Spirit. I'm giving my life back to Spirit. And I'm just giving my life back because I want you to do something better with it. And I'm ready for fulfillment. And I'm ready for all the promises that you've given over my life and all the promises that you've made to me, over my life to come to pass. And I've done my time helping people, and I've done my time just with this cross that I've been bearing, this family cross I've been bearing, and praying for and interceding for my daughter's dad, and doing my best to keep everything together, and to save our family tree and our lineage and our generation, and just holding the space for healing so everything doesn't just completely fall apart and get destroyed, because you don't want your lineage to be cut off. Like, you don't. Okay, if you've ever read the Bible, there's whole reasons why there's chapters on lineages and the begats and the begats and the begats and the begats and the begats. And so I was just like, and just giving my life back to you. It was a little dramatic, but I mean, life is very real. Like, it's the whole reason why we have feelings and emotions, and how we're able to materialize what we want in our life is through our feelings and emotions. Because there is energy and motion, emotions, energy and motion. And so then, since then, like, things have been coming back into alignment the way that they should be. And I feel more free, and I'll do a whole wisdom teaching on the family tree and our parents and intergenerational stuff, and toxic family members. And I've done videos before on walking away from toxic family members and how God taught me how to love toxic people from a distance. People who aren't well, they're not whole, they're not spiritually healthy. And I've done talks on that before, and shared from a conscious perspective and from a soul and spiritual perspective as a whole being, about how sometimes we have to walk away from those people, and we have to love those people safely from a distance. And we still love them, but love them safely from a distance. And I'll even add the video link to that video down below. However, with that being said, it feels complete. I wanted to share about the wedding. I wish that I would have asked them if I could interview them. Maybe there's a way. With that being said, I'll be on here tomorrow because it's Sunday. And we'll see what the word is going to be. And I'm sure it's going to be very powerful, because today was a powerful day. And I'm sure the word that comes through God tomorrow will be powerful as well. So, with that being said, I am She That Exists. And this is She That Exists with She That Exists, her story channel. And it's interesting, people who copy me. And I'm fine with that because I know that I'm an original. I'm the original. And that people are just going to copy. Copycat's going to copy. But with that being said, life is very interesting. Hold on to your heart with everything you have. Don't let go. It's when we are not living in our heart that things go really haywire. So as much as it hurts, stay in your heart, hold on to your heart, and don't let go and stay in your soul. Until next time, I'll be back as always, and I'm going to end the stream now. Until next time.